everybody. Welcome back to another week of Hit the Gap. We're doing this one a bit differently this week. There's no video component because we are both in different countries currently. Coming to
Japan,
you,
mate, twice.
coming to you from Japan this time. The last one was a bit of a more convenient time trip before the season, so didn't really have much content to talk about, if anything, but now is a little bit of a brief intermission from all the okonomiyaki and takoyaki Osaka has to offer to talk about the round that just was and Origin again. I think Origin's
Hell
probably the
yeah.
big one again, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of different and interesting as well, mind you, selections. I would say definitely some interesting selections from both teams.
Yeah,
Get stuck in.
yeah, definitely. We'll visit Origin second up, just because it's probably going to be a bit more of a talking point, I guess, in terms of what you just mentioned. But if we go back to the round that just was in the Premiership, we have got Sharks versus Dolphins, that first game of the round on the Thursday night. Now, geez, was that a cracker? That was shaping up to be a slaughtering by the Dolphins in the first half there. I think it was something like 20 something unanswered points, right? 22 possibly unanswered points in that first half to the
Yeah,
Dolphins.
absolutely. It was a bit of a massacre really at the start. I believe there was only it only really started to turn once Royce Hunt came on around the 27th minute mark, I think it was. Geez, that guy's a beast. But I tell you what, those Dolphins, they are here to play. I think it was 20. I want to say 24. Yeah, I think about 24-0 at one point.
Yeah,
And then all of a
yeah.
sudden, these Sharks just came belting back.
Up until like half time, I think it was. Like it was, and that's it. It was all unanswered points. Like they didn't even look like they were getting close. The Sharks,
Yeah,
unfortunately, Dolphins were just playing for fun for a bit
and
there. Almost.
this was definitely one of those. It was a bit of a highlight game of the week, I think, for a lot of people because, we had this epic Sharks comeback, and then this massive deflating end as Nico Hines just kicks his Origin jersey away.
Oh yeah, unfortunate for Hines. Like spotlight on him. I mean, everyone was thinking. I mean, he was probably thinking it as well, which sucked. But yeah, spotlight on him. This is my time to prove that Origin jersey's mine, and it deflected all the way out to the right of the uprights.
Very right. It was very, very
Um,
right.
yeah, but yeah, in talking on that, like the Dolphins were just insane. I think they had the Sharks pretty well on tilt for most of it. Like they're playing around for fun. It was almost reminiscent of when the Cowboys played the Dolphins. Sorry, the Sharks back there, and
Yeah.
the Sharks were just having fun. It was almost park footy for a bit. I know the wingers were having a lot of fun. Bostock and Osaka were having a lot of fun for the Dolphins there for a while until, like you said, Royce Hunt come back on. They gave the Sharks a bit of go forward through the middle, I thought, and they finally
He is
started, putting some
insanely
stuff
big,
together.
eh? That guy
Yeah,
is so big.
pretty mobile too. Like you see, as we've talked about before, the forwards today aren't like your big boys that get one or two runs every set or two, but very fit, very mobile body as well for his size.
I don't
Um,
know what it is with the Sharks, man. The Sharks just seem to also attract that sort of that sort of forward as well. Um,
yeah,
you look at all their big boys. You've got Talakai, you've got Hunt, you've got even Nikora. He's a pretty big boy as well for a center boy. And I mean,
running on the
they've
like the
got
edges and centers for
Hazleton,
sure. Yeah,
yeah.
yep,
And
yeah.
soon to have AFB. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly right. It is going to be a massive forward pack next year moving forward as well. I think
Mm.
probably one of the main highlights anyway, or on the highlight reel of this game would have been the Hamiso try.
Oh my God, that try.
Only just probably overshadowing the Will Kennedy try, which was almost reminiscent down the other end, or maybe it was a no try, possibly. I'm not too sure what happened, but
No,
it
no,
was.
he got it. He got it. It
He
was
did get it.
yeah, it was. I think it was 2 sets prior. I want to say about 2 sets prior. It was like 52nd minute. I want to say.
A very very similar sort of setup where he was, Hamiso was there defending and Kennedy just sort of bumped him and threw him off and went in under the sticks. And then Hamiso, that's it. Like you said, only a couple sets later, straight down the other end, burned everyone. And then same thing to Kennedy. straight in the try line, behind the try line there. So
Yeah,
yeah, very
honestly, an epic try for his highlight reel, and as if he didn't have enough highlight reels anyway. But
yeah,
I think it really just sort of solidifies his spot in the Origin roster, really, more than anything.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I mean, very reminiscent of his form in Origin, which was quite funny.
Absolutely.
But yeah, one of many good tries. I mean, another one would be the next game on Friday, the Cowboys Raiders game, which sort of was a bit. I think the result,
Mm.
obviously, but the way the game went was quite, unpredicted. People weren't expecting it to go the way it did.
No,
Uh,
absolutely not. I feel like people. I feel like people picked. Um, I feel like people picked that right edge to be really, really bothersome for the Cows. But
Yeah,
the Cows just absolutely did not give a singular f, bro. Like it was a great game to watch. It's fun. It was finally a piece of football that we could all watch as Cowboys fans.
yeah,
Uh, and even as a football fan, and say these guys actually have a bit of defense about them. They're
yeah.
not just they're not just slacking. Like it was an excellent game to watch, really, and um, yeah, geez, I think everyone was really stoked to see this game, really, whether you're a Cows fan or not.
Yeah, I know. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch it because I was still in the air. I landed at Narita Airport and got on the
Mm.
Wi-Fi quickly and checked the score and had to, rub my eyes to make sure I was seeing the right score line there for a minute. But that's the main thing I saw was defense, and we talk about it. We've talked about it that many times. We keep saying we've talked about it that many
I
times,
think
but
we have talked it to the point where it's like a beating a dead horse, but
yeah, yeah, it's you know what I mean? Like, you play a team like the Raiders, who are known for their defense and that,
Mm.
and you need to be able to put up, and it looks like they have, and the results
And I
really
think this
showed it. I
was
think, man.
absolutely, it really did show. And I think this was also a really what really impressed me about the whole thing was that, you look at statistically how the Cows have performed in wet and or slippery conditions.
Mm,
It was a pretty wet game down in Canberra. It was
yep,
pretty wet. It was pretty rainy, and they really owned the moments. There was so few errors from the boys.
yep,
It was just a great viewing, and
yep.
it's about friggin' time. But I think I'd like to tack on to that and say, there was some epic tries in there too. Both of the Felties tries were awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
first one off that kick, I think it was a little grubber dinked in behind,
yeah,
and
and it
he
was sort of
dived
like
on
he
it.
picked it. Yeah, he just picked
Yeah,
it off two people dropping the ball.
I think there was a couple of kicks or grubbers anyway. I know
Mm.
Holmes went in a bit later on in the game. I'm pretty sure he picked
Yeah,
one up
yep.
and went in off one too. But yeah,
Robson
talking
too.
about and Robson, and they're talking about Felty's try there. You were saying another cutout, beautiful cutout from Drinky, was it?
Oh, it was a sensational Harbour Bridge cutout pass. It was right, perfect, pretty much perfect height for the fingers for Felty.
Mm.
And then it was just the put down was insane.
The
I still
magic was in
don't.
the put down. You're
Yeah.
right. Where it was like a full body, pretty well over the over the touchline. He was
Oh,
out
everything
of
was
the
over.
field,
Yeah, it was
and
the only thing that was left in field was I think his wrist in his hand, which was
yeah,
just
just managed to
Williams
get
of
the
hey.
he managed to get the ball down a millimeter in from the touchline, which was quite crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Harlem Luki, I think, went over for a try as well, which was good. It's sort of pretty deserving, I think. Now that he's
Mm.
finally getting a bit more game time coming back from his injuries. I know Raiders. I think from what I've seen, they were just a little bit in all sorts. It seemed like maybe the
Oh,
Cowboys sort
sloppy.
of
Very
came out and
sloppy.
surprised them a bit. Yeah, yeah, which was
Mm.
unfortunate because, like we said, a team like the Raiders, who are known for their defense, when there's a little bit of a chink in their armor as such, sort of thing like that. It's quite surprising.
Yeah, it's also very odd to see from a stick team. Um,
Yeah,
you don't normally see like really really poor defense like that from a Ricky Stewart led team, but hey, it is. I think it was. I think there was a little bit more going on. I think maybe it just wasn't their night in general, because the amount
possibly.
of errors that they were having, especially from their reputable men, like we're talking like the amount of errors that
Rapana.
Rapana and Savage had was just like it was ridiculous. It was it was insane. I couldn't. And what blew my mind as well was they had all these errors, but they had all these six again calls too, and it still didn't matter. They were still just getting flogged every time they got the ball. They just would drop it and
Yeah,
constantly drop it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Which I mean, funny you mentioned them having the high areas because I think they were the two that got tries for them right in the end. So,
yeah,
I mean,
that's
whether
right.
whether it was worth all the errors or not, I don't know. But yeah, yeah, definitely. Just like you said, possibly just on tilt a bit, just not their night, really, unfortunately.
Yeah, that first
Uh,
40 minutes was just pain and suffering, like just pain
yeah,
and suffering. It was awful. If you're a Raiders fan, oh,
yeah, yeah. Which talking about not being their night, the Rabbitohs doing the Broncos in by 10 points, 22-12. Now that one was. A long
man.
time coming, probably for the Rabbitohs, right? The Rabbitohs seem to just get it over the Broncos. I don't know what it is. It's almost like a little bit of a rivalry ever
Yeah,
since Reynolds
rivalry.
have gone there. But
Mm.
yeah, it just for and I did get to watch a little bit of this one, or most of the second half anyway. I did get to watch, but similar thing to what you're saying. Broncos just looked a bit, I don't know, like
Oh,
sloppy.
not only sloppy, but it was also very. Look, we mentioned that for that last game, like, like just straight up on tilt. Like
Yeah,
some of the things they were doing were just, it was just like, man, you guys are way better than this, and you know better. Like Walters is going to have your heads.
yeah.
Um, the Jordan Ricky incident.
Oh,
Um,
the sin bin, you mean? Yep.
yeah, the sin bin.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm very on the fence with that one. I don't believe that was a sin bin. I believe that was a send off. I think he's very lucky to not be sent off
yeah.
under the current day and age rules.
Yeah, especially after the whole Origin one,
Mm.
precedent. But like at first when I saw it, I thought,
But
"Oh,
even
geez,
Trell, like, and I'm all for a Trell binning. Don't get me wrong. I love a Trell binning, but but I think Trell being binned there was like, if it's the right call, then you have to send Ricky. And if it's the wrong call, you don't send him at all. You just put him on report. I don't know. I thought that was a bit of a shitty take, and I think it was just ref trying to keep things settled,
yeah, yeah."
or try and get
After
some
the sort
control
of flare
back.
up from it, initially, sorry, I didn't really see the problem with it as such until I watched the replay after, which was I think
Mm.
after they'd been sent to the sin bin, where I'm quite confident he made contact with his chin or something. Did he not?
Most definitely, yeah.
Um,
It was
it looked
definitely chin
It looked at
contact.
first from the angles that were shown, it was almost more like a whiplash sort of thing. Like you see his
Mm.
head sort of move back. It looked like a good shot or he hit him in the chest. But then, yeah, from those other angles, you actually see like his head sort of flick back and his face cop it. So I think, yeah, even if it was probably minimal, really, in comparison to some, but yeah, still contact with the head, like direct
I
forceful
think we
contact
talk
with the
about
head.
this every week in terms of, the keywords being consistency.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
exactly right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tight one. I mean, if I feel like if you're gonna send Suoliti off in the what, 7th minute of Origin or 5th minute
Yeah,
of Origin, whatever it was,
yeah,
I
exactly.
think Ricky gets sent off in the 55th minute there for what he just did. So, bit
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting call. And like you said, the Latrell binning, I think, was probably more so to just calm things down because anyone would have come and run in there and sort of fired up, I think. But
Yeah, specialized over like an incident like that. Absolutely. Like,
yeah, yeah,
usually
exactly.
when a send off incident happens, something like that, it
Mm,
usually gets pretty fiery straight away, and
yeah,
it's not obvious. It's not like a it's an obvious thing. It's an instant reaction that someone will have when they see their mate get flogged. So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, we'll move on with the Saturday games. Try and pump through them. The West Tigers getting one up over the Titans in the end there. Now that one was sort of surprising. I thought. I know they were down a few people. The Titans. Fafita was a laid out, or he was out the day before, or something. I think maybe was it a.
yeah,
Does he have a quad injury or a calf injury? He's nursing something. It's some sort of complaint he's nursing. Right, that's why he's out at
yeah,
the moment.
it's definitely an injury. Not too sure exactly what it is on that one, but
Yeah.
I do know that it was literally like 2 hours before the game. They were like, "Yeah, he's not playing." So
Definitely not playing. Yeah,
yeah,
I know it messed with my fantasy anyway because I had him as captain, which was unfortunate. But yeah, um,
but even
Tigers.
still, I just don't think anyone saw the Tigers coming out and putting on a bit of a clinic like that.
Yeah, yeah. Without, I mean, still with the errors and whatnot, but
Mm.
shoring up, I guess, a bit in that form there. Not being so error riddled, which was good. I
I
think
think most impressive as well was Appy's kicking has definitely gotten a lot better too.
yeah,
Like he
having
was
to
slotting some bangers.
having to sort of move into that halfback position, I think he was playing right.
Mm.
It was sort of a out of necessity, unfortunately for him, because he was probably wanting to audition for a role for Origin, if anything, back at hooker. But yeah, yeah, good kicking, quite solid kicking, which is what they needed. Got him back in there. I think Olam had a pretty good game myself, from what I
Oh,
saw.
he was fantastic.
He
Definitely like
picked up.
shades of old Storm.
Yeah, exactly. Picked up a
Mm.
double, which was quite solid for him on his behalf. But yeah, I think overall, just shoring up those errors and stuff like that, the silly stuff really helped them to when they were getting that field position and gaining that advantage, not just letting it all go, which was handy.
Yeah, I think this is finally a performance that Benji can actually be pretty stoked with and pretty proud of.
Yeah, yeah, and I
Like
think
I think their error count really reflects it more than anything.
yeah, yeah, exactly right. And Titans just unfortunately not sort of coming together on that one. They are still without a few players as well, halves, etc., etc. They did get Jaden Campbell back, which was good, but yeah, just not enough, unfortunately. Speaking on that, I think young Kinney at fullback's actually this second run he's got at fullback this year. I know the first run
Mm.
was a bit average. He wasn't sort of living up to the hype as such initially,
He
but
is very threatening, man.
yeah, he's been quite good since he's been given this opportunity again, I found. So and then the next Saturday game was the Warriors Storm, which for all money, the first part of the game looked like it was going to be a Warriors win or a strong Warriors win anyway, and they did what they've managed to do a couple times this year and just sort of let it slide. The Storm just managed to get their way back in there, which was
Oh
unfortunate for the
man.
old Wars.
This one hurt more than anything for me because I had a really big multi on. Like, I nearly got up big time, but
I
but I
mean,
tell you,
nearly everyone scored a try almost.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. I think the only one I was missing was DWZ, and then I think going to the bin really ruined all that. So
Yeah,
yeah, geez. Now look, I didn't get to watch this full game. I only got to watch little bits and pieces of it live.
yep,
Um, But I tell you what, they were pumping at the start, and then all of a sudden they just clock off, and I don't know what it is about them.
mm,
I think Barney really earned his keep and definitely earned his Origin spot at least, no matter what.
yep,
But I don't know what it is about them. They just seem to just get to that sort of like 20, 30 minute mark, and then
drop off
just
almost.
clock off. There, it's just like, all right, we need to hold out, boys. We need to play big defense and whatnot, and then they don't play defense at all. So
Yeah,
it's really weird. Um,
yeah, rather unfortunate.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean they didn't really
they
fire in the second half that hard either. So
yeah, that first half, like you're saying, they scored a few good tries. I mean, I think there was
mm,
one, it was a bit of a scramble thing, went through the legs of someone out to Montoya, possibly on the wing, I
yeah,
think,
it was
who
Montoya.
dived
Yep.
over. Yeah, which was crazy. But then, yeah, that's it. The Storm just that second half, coming out that second half, took them a little bit to get back into it, but then just dominating. I think rolling over the top of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think games like this also really highlight the power and like just the potency really of Farlogo, Sualavi Farlogo. Man, he is tough stuff. He is a beast. He is so quick
Yeah,
and he is just so hard to handle and can get a hold of.
yeah,
Um,
exactly right.
I think the more minutes that guy gets, the safer the Storm get into their next 5 6 years.
Yeah, exactly right, and especially depending on whatever happens with Pappenhausen, like, I know they're gonna give him every opportunity and whatnot, but, if he does ever move on or, anything he does move position, for example,
Mm.
or something like that, they're pretty safe, I think, like you're saying, in that they've, got someone who could just walk straight in and dominate, he's you're really starting to see some of the best of his early football in first grade anyway, for sure.
Yeah, it's like 2022 cows, man. Just having the
Yeah.
Ferrari on the bench, man, just ready to go.
Yep, yep, yep. Just trying to get that
Super
game
lucky.
time or something. Um, and the next game we being Roosters Eels, which I think the Eels sort of that was their game to lose, right? I think the Eels played a bit doo doo in the end. Like another one, they started out pretty well, I thought, in my opinion. I thought, geez, the Eels are actually pretty going all right here. Considering the week before was a pretty dominant win, getting Moses and Gutherson back and whatnot, and then again, Moses auditioning for the jersey out of him and Hines. they sort of both put in a very similar performance, if not anything else, right?
I mean, look, if you asked me who played better, I'd tell you straight up it was it was Moses. Moses was absolutely clinical, but unfortunately he was just getting flattened on every second
Shut
chance.
down.
Yeah. He was getting
Yeah.
shut down very, very heavily. It was pretty good from the Roosters.
Yep.
I think maybe they're feeling the pinch from the last couple of weeks of losses, of mixed losses and stuff, mixed results.
Yeah.
So we always knew that the Roosters were going to come out and they wanted to play hard. So
Yeah.
I think the real highlight from this game is how epic it is to watch Blaze Talagi.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Geez, he's so God, I hate Para, but but it is good fun watching Blaze play this football game, man. It is epic.
One that all Eels fans, and I mean the Eels alike, the club themselves, I really think they're going to be hoping they can maintain, hold on to, because like we're talking about your Farlogos or even your Tristan Sailors and whatnot, another one that could just slot in at fullback at any given moment and do quite
Absolutely.
good. I mean, not at the exact same level as some of the others, but yeah, someone who's just come in and sort of made first grade his own, which is quite exciting.
Yeah, but
But
he
yeah,
can play in so many different key spots as well, though, which is awesome. Like
yeah, yeah. Well, we've
you could
already
have
seen
him
him
wing,
play
you could have
3.
him center, you could have
Yeah,
him fullback. Like he is really really talented, and he can switch sides as well. He's very ambidextrous. So
yeah. I think we've
um,
seen him in the halves, fullback and center so far this year. Anyway, he's been sort of
that's right.
moved around everywhere just yet, utilised to the utmost.
And he
Um,
scored in all three roles as well.
yeah, yeah, exactly
Now
right.
that's gaming.
Roosters just being a bit too clinical, though. I think in the end, I mean, it was only 10-point difference, nothing
Mm.
massive, but yeah, like you said, shutting Moses down at the opportune times and whatnot was just what they needed to do.
Yeah.
With which the Roosters actually being quite solid. I mean, Connor Watson coming back in, he's back from his injury and whatnot, filling in for Brandon Smith, who's on the outer at the moment from or reports or rumors anyway, if you're led to believe anything. With, I think Watson, if anything, if he does replace Smith or he is there for an extended period, I mean, they're pretty safe as houses, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he had a really good game too. Game back, which is good.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
yeah, if some of those rumors going around are true, then yeah, Cheese does need to be a bit careful and actually ship and shape up a bit. But
Mm,
I think the thing that did piss me off about this game a little bit was the Kelma Tuolangi milk as well. When he milked that penalty, that did annoy me a little bit. But
classic
oh
Eels.
yeah, but it's that's the thing, and that's exactly why we talk about power all the time like this. I mean, it's yeah, spend more time with their arms in the bloody air than anything, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, not why they lost by any means or anything, but yeah, it is. It's one of them things where it's like, boys, if you're not gonna get a proper result, or you're not gonna get a win from playing this way, like
Yeah,
just just play the fucking game.
just play the goddamn game, bro. Goodness
And
me.
Sunday games we'll jump to Manly 30-14 over the Dragons. Yeah, or 30 points to 14, I should say.
Mm,
Uh, the annual Mad Dragon Hello Sport Bowl.
that was
Uh,
epic to watch.
yeah, this one I think Dragons been in pretty surprising form this year. I think they're doing better than Dragons fans could have thought they would have anyway, or were hoping for. So still positive signs from them, but Manly just yeah getting their shit together. I think with
I mean,
another one who's
I couldn't believe it. It finally
yeah
happened.
yeah yeah
Gerbo got a try.
yeah
What
exactly
the?
right. I think young Benny did as well. I mean, all they needed was
Yep.
Turbo to run back on, miraculously healed from his injury as 19th man or something, 18th man, and get the trifecta.
Yeah.
Um,
Even the new fella as well, who's filling in for Turbo.
at fullback, yeah,
Yeah.
Hopewadi,
Yeah.
one of the
Lehigh.
Hopowadis. Yeah, yeah,
Lehigh.
yeah, yep, that's the
He
one.
got in too. So and Olakawatu went over as well. So man,
Yeah,
whew,
yeah. It
it was a bit of a clinic from the Manly boys.
Yeah, I think another one who's sort of been up and down throughout the season, but forms improving somewhat.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, Manly with positive result there anyway,
Actually, wait, didn't
coming out of
Brooks
that.
go in as well?
I'm not too sure about Brooksy. Oh, yeah,
I
he
feel
did.
like
You're right. Sorry, checking
start of
this.
the
Just after
second
half.
half, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just after half time, start of the second half, he
Jeez.
did come in there. So I think they were sort of had him a bit quiet that first half. I think right. They
Mm.
had him a little bit pinned down, but yeah, I guess that keeping the pressure on or whatnot ended
I
up
think the
paying off.
Dragons just lost their way a little bit in that second half, and honestly, I think it really comes back on Kyle Flanagan a little bit. I think he just went really passive.
Yeah,
Also, that milk that he did was pretty funny, where he didn't get away with the milk and then got HIA'd.
yeah,
But
that's instant karma, bro.
yeah, that's geez, about time that's getting picked up. Jesus Christ, because he's one that does it pretty regularly too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I gotta give big shout outs for old Goffy there. He really did come through on that one. So definitely restoring faith a little bit. But um, yeah, I think realistically, I had Manly to win. I had Manly to win this one. Um, I didn't think they would come out and put on a blast like that though. So especially not against Lomax, who was, you know, I thought Lomax would would be going in a lot more often, especially with Saba and they're just coming back. So um,
yeah,
I thought that matchup was going to be was going to be pretty tough for old Saab, but he handled it well. He only let him in once, and Saab even got one back on him. So good
yep,
on him.
yep, yep, yeah. Good and good result for Manly there. Moving forward,
Mm.
I think they've picked up a fair few injuries this game, but prior as well. So it's going to be tough, I think, for Manly after the buys, or the
Yeah.
next couple buys or anything anyway. Because I think the next few, or at least there'll be couple of them, couple players sitting in for the next few weeks, which is unfortunate. But coming away with the win in that game. Then the last game of the round being the Panthers v Knights. Scoreline not that massive. The difference, I should say, rather
Yeah, no,
the
this one shocked
margin.
me a bit.
8 points the difference really.
Mm.
Young Fletcher Sharp, I think it is, at fullback, getting the spot at fullback, going in for a try in the 3rd minute.
I was
Now
going to say, yeah, you got the Chalky straight away.
I think he was initially set to come in for Ponga, but I think he may have sustained an injury of some sort in New South Wales Cup or something like that anyway, which is
Yeah.
why David Armstrong got the spot
Mm.
back then. But yeah, with apparently Armstrong, I think breakdown in communications or negotiations with the round contract or something, I'm not too sure, has seen him sign supposedly with the Lee Leopards or someone overseas anyway.
Yeah.
From what I hear, it was a bit like, "Hey, we're going to offer you this much," and then they came in and said, "Hey, we'll offer you this much," and he said, "Righto, I'm going over there." Then they said, "No, we want you to stay. We'll keep you on the wing, or we'll give you a spot on the wing." And he said, "No, I want to be a fullback. And I'm going to get more money. See you later." And apparently, he was on a plane over there or something. So
Another
Fletcher,
sensational backflip.
yep, Fletcher Sharp, and another possibly Knights junior getting let go. But
I've got to say, man, these Knights, I did not expect Penrith to even have even a slightly tough time with this.
yeah,
But seeing oh man, Bradman Best is what a player. Like
yeah,
honestly, like
yeah.
honestly,
We say, I mean, we say that every time. Like and coming back from injury as well. They've been missing him. They've definitely been
mm.
missing him there. I
Two
think
best
he's
players on the field for sure. Best and
yeah,
Crosland. I thought Crosland was he gave me Robson vibes, just tackling anything and everything.
yeah,
Best making just ridiculous meters, ridiculous
yep,
PCMs as well.
yep, yep.
Picking up a try late as well. So yeah, he's just a beast.
Yeah, I think it was just, yeah. I think you're right. It's just he's probably a bit unlucky to not get a spot in the blue side. I mean, obviously coming back
Mm.
from injury, he hasn't had much of a sample size, but
You've got to say that it's only injury, and I think he's almost as long as he stays fit, he's guaranteed for game 3 if
yeah,
and
on,
for whatever
on
reason.
form, you'd think if any changes are made, then you think it'd be him being brought in. But yeah, Panthers coming away with the win there, 26 points. I think Edwards had a decent game, and
Yeah,
I mean
dude nearly ran
reflects.
300 meters again. He's just a
Yeah,
freak.
Yeah, exactly, which reflects in, as we spoke about it, it's probably gonna be Edwards getting that, New South Wales fullback position by default, and he
Yeah,
has. Fullback,
absolutely.
fullback being relinquished by Teddy, I mean, doing the duty in game 1, but, yeah, I mean, it's Edwards' time, and he's, consistent week in, week out. He's, probably one of the better fullbacks in the game at the moment, if not one of the top 3 anyway, but, yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely in safe hands at the moment there,
Yeah,
the
for
Panthers
sure.
are. Um, we might even jump onto this weekend, round 16, I think it is. We'll just have a quick preview of the matches because there's a fair few buys, so it's only going to be a short round this weekend. First game being the Friday night, Dolphins versus the Storm. Um,
Oh
predictions
man,
for
I'm so
this one?
excited. I'm so freaking
Yeah,
excited for this game, bro. This
yeah.
game is. Oh man.
I think obviously both teams losing a few to Origin. Storm losing Coates and Grant as per usual, and then Kafusi, Tabuai, Fido, and no, that's it. Sorry, that's it. Going to Origin anyway from the Dolphins. So I it's I think yeah, it's going to be a good game. I mean, it could very well go either way, in my opinion. Dolphins who very
Oh.
clearly, Wayne's playing for a premiership this year, right?
Oh, actually, I just realized they've just announced they've actually only really just announced that Pappenhausen's back.
Let's have a quick squiz. Yeah, you're right. Team list must have just dropped, actually. We're an hour behind here in Japan. That's why I wasn't looking at that. Let's have a quick squiz. We'll read the team list. We'll go through
Oh,
them too. Go
that's
through them.
epic. That's really going to be epic. Trey Fuller versus Pappenhausen.
So, yep, as we would have expected anyway. Fuller lining up at fullback with Osako, Avarillo, Farnworth, Bostock, Nikarima, Katoa, Bromwich, JMK, Kenny Bromwich, the other prop there, Lemuelu, Aitken, Max Plath still getting his minutes, which is good. Interchange Josh Kerr, Mark Nichols, Ray Stone, and Tavita Pangai Jr. is getting his first run of
Yeah, getting a run.
the want to talk about backflips, the ultimate backflip on backflips.
The triple
The
backflip.
the man who is sick of was sick of taking orders from halves and wanted to pursue a career in boxing, being knocked out of his career in boxing or his dreams being knocked out of him in a matter of seconds to being subservient to halves again. By the sounds of it,
If
he's
this isn't
willing
the
to take some
funniest
orders.
story of 2024, I don't know what is, bro.
A
Good.
great pickup for the Dolphins. I mean, when you talk about the fact that Flegler is out for the rest of the season and
But also,
potentially,
there's no way he's getting paid good money. Like,
yeah,
it's got to be
exactly
like
right.
almost free, right? Surely.
I think the Dolphins would have picked him up for a decent price. Like they're giving him that opportunity. He's back home, back close to home.
Like, he's the one who's
Um,
got to make the sacrifice here and earn his keep again. Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly right. An amazing pickup for any club, but I think as well under Wayne, whether I don't know. Does he move on with Wayne to the Dolphins? Do we see something like that? Who knows? I don't know. But
wouldn't that
I
be interesting if
definitely,
he went to the Bunnies?
yeah, I think if anyone's going to get something good out of Pangai Jr., I think it'll be Wayne. You know, the
Yeah.
old Broncos relationship there.
I mean, he got something out of it when he was at the Broncos, so surely there's something. There's got to be
Yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly right. We'll jump over to the Melbourne team real quick with, like you mentioned earlier, Pappenhausen at fullback making his return, which is great. I think
Oh, man.
everyone's been waiting for that, so everyone will be stoked to
Just
see
looking at that 1
Pappenhausen
to
get another
7,
run.
this is going to
Yep,
be so epic, dude. This is going to be a
yep,
sick game.
yep. On the wing, Will Rawbrick with Grant Anderson inside him, Nick Meaney's Sualavi, is it?
Yep.
Sualavi, is that how you pronounce it?
Falogo. Mhm.
Balogo is on the other wing there. So Coates obviously on Origin duty. They've got someone safe as houses on the wing. You know they couldn't really
Oh,
ask for
yeah.
too much more there, which is pretty handy. Wishart still lining up at 5'8" with Hughes at halfback. Prop Tui Kamakamika, Brunson Garlic filling in at hooker there with Josh King, Sean Blaw, Elisa Katoa, and Trent Loiero. Um, Jack Howarth, Christian Welch, Nelson Asofa Solomona finally getting his run again after last week. I think might have been his first game back with the Storm. and
Yeah, I
Joe
just realized as
Shannon.
well. That's right. Leo is actually allowed to play in this game too because he's 19th man, I believe, 19th, 20th man for
Uh,
Origin.
he is, yeah, yeah. You're right. He's so
Mm,
probably like we were saying about game one, just getting people in around the side. It's probably more so a little bit of exposure or something like that, which is quite handy. But yeah, this game I think could go anyway, really, man. Right? I mean, your money you'd put on the Storm if you wanted to be safe, but I mean,
yeah,
really,
100%.
Dolphins playing for a premiership. They've showed that all season, which is
I think
crazy.
this is going to be really dark horse. Look, I'm gonna I'm gonna wait and see just to make sure Pappenhausen's in first. If
Yeah,
Pappenhausen stays in and he locks in for that Friday night game, I'm going Storm.
yeah. We don't want any 11th
Mm.
hour last minute changes back out, which is
If there's no
prone to
Pappenhausen,
happening.
I'm putting trade to just pump everyone. So
Yep, yep, yep. Um, I think myself, I would be tipping the Storm. Personally, I'd be tipping the Storm, but yeah, I would not. I won't be shocked if the Dolphins get a win. A slight advantage out of this one.
the other thing is just looking at like pricing now. I mean, I know we don't really talk about gambling that much, but if I think there's some things to be
Oh,
won there as
value.
well. Yeah,
Yeah,
some definite value there
$2.75. Not bad at all for a Dolphins
for a
win.
Finns game, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Next game being the Saturday 3 p.m. game, Titans versus Warriors. We got Keanu Kinney at fullback again, Alofi Khan Pereira, Brian Kelly, Philip Sami, Jojo Fafita, Jaden Campbell back in the halves again with Kieran Foran, Keenan Palacia, Chris Randall at hooker, Josiah Pahulu, David Fafita making his comeback by the looks. Hopefully, it was just like we said, that calf or quad complaint. I think it may have been. Both Firma, Aaron Clark, Sam Verrills, Isaac Liu, Isaac Fasul Malaawi, and Joe Stimson rounding out the Titans team. With the Warriors, the Wars, Chance Nickel Clockstead lining up a fullback, Edward Cossey, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Adam Pompey, Marcelo Montoya, Tamari Martin, Sean Johnson, Adam Fanor-Blake, Wade Egan, Jackson Ford, Murata Niokore, Dylan Walker, Tohu Harris, Nell Harris Davida, Jacob Laban, Jazz Tavanga, and Tom Arley rounding out the Warriors team. Now, there's a fair few ins here. DWZ, I think, was it injury or did
No, that was
he?
he's getting suspended. I believe
Yeah,
he's getting
suspension.
a 1 game suspension. I think Rocco
Yep,
is getting a 2 game as well. Actually,
yep,
Rocco's not getting suspended. Actually, he got off.
yep.
Rocco is, I think it was
Injured?
not quad, bicep. I want to say bicep,
Okay.
which is
Bicep injury,
really
right? Yeah.
unfortunate because that he has had so many upper body injuries in his career.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, tough one for him. I think this one I'm actually going to be going Titans because no DWZ, no Capewell, no Barney, no Rocco. Like it's tough. It's a tough go for the old the
Yeah.
Wars this week, I think, and they're away as well. They're in the Gold Coast. I think it's going to be a tough go. Fafita's back, apparently, allegedly. So
Supposedly, we'll wait till
yeah,
2 hours before to find out if it's anything like last week. But yeah, I think
yeah,
you're right. Really, Titans home game. Titans been building definitely. Warriors not on a slide like they were, but just sort of tiring out last week. Unfortunately, good to see RTS back in the side, but
yeah. This is going to be epic
yeah,
too.
whether it's going to be enough, I don't know. I will probably. I'm gonna say Titans, but I'm gonna say it's only gonna be by 2 to 4 points. Let's say
Yeah,
that because
I agree.
I think
It's
it'll
going
be
to be a
much
tight one
closer.
still.
Yeah, I think it'll be much closer if it is a Titans win for this
That
one.
said, though, I think the big one for me really is just the big matchup, or the mismatchup, really, if you will.
Mm.
That's Edward Kosi versus Khan Pereira. I think it's going to be a
Yeah,
tough one for old Kosi.
yeah. Khan, we know known for his speed and
Mm.
ability. So
He's just hard to
uh,
handle, so like I think it's just going to be really tough for him coming into the side versus that out at not at home. So
yeah, yeah, definitely, most definitely, man. Um, Move on to the next game, being Roosters versus Bulldogs. Now, this one, dogs are another team, sort of surprising people this year. They're back, or they're into the eight, and they look like they're holding steady at the moment. I know that it's a bit of a logjam, from possibly fourth or fifth down. But yeah, quite solid, I
Kick
think,
out
man.
is back though.
Yeah, there's a few people back in here for the Dogs. So we'll start with the Roosters. Tedesco at fullback, obviously no origin duties for him, so that's good for the Roosters. Tupo, uh, Fatalaga Pauga, I think is how you
Targa,
pronounce his
yeah.
name, but Pauga, we know Pauga's filled
He's
in
a
it
bit of a
and
try
done
scoring
it very
machine.
well. He is,
Hmm.
yeah, with Marnie in the other centre, Dom Young, Luke Keary, Sam Walker. JWH, Brandon Smith back at hooker. He's been given his slap on the wrist and allowed back into the team. Sat in the naughty corner for a week. Obviously, Watson on origin duties. We'll talk about that soon. But allowing Smith, or maybe more so Smith, required to come in and fill in there. Come back into his spot. Terrell May on the run-on side. Nat Butcher, Victor Radley, Nafahu White. Sandon Smith, Blake Steep, Satili Tupanua getting another run, and Siwa Wong. With the Bulldogs team, we've got Connor Tracy, Gerald Skelton, Bronson Zeri, Jacob Carraz, Blake Wilson, Matt Burton, Toby Sexton, Max King, Reed Marnie, Sam Hughes on the run-on side, Josh Curran back after that HIA. I think they had the bye last week anyway, but
Yeah.
that nasty HIA a couple of weeks ago. Jamin Salmon, Bailey Hayward, Jake Turpin, Pasoe Farmer Sully, Curtis Morin, and Lepoi Hapui. This one,
Good old Hapoi. That's going to be a fun one if Blocker or if Ennis gets the commentary.
yeah, oh my lord. Roosters pretty hampered here, I think. I'll just have a quick squiz, go through. Roosters looking pretty hampered by origin duties for both sides. So it's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna play a part, I think, definitely. We've seen a lot of these people, a lot of these fellows, sorry, come in and fill in throughout the year for various things. Forwards, you've got Terrell May coming in at prop there for Collins, who Terrell really, if anything, probably could play that 80 minutes, 70 to 80-minute mark. Radley's in the second row. Butcher. It's they're not too bad out in their edge position. I think the Roosters at the moment. Crichton is a loss, but on the bench there as well, having fellows like Tupanua and Siwa Wong is probably going to keep them in good stead, I think, in my opinion. Lenu as well, obviously, is another one off origin duty that they've lost out of that forward pack, or off the interchange anyway. But yeah, covered quite well. If we move on over and have a look at the Bulldogs out, so they don't have as many people out. Jacob Preston out, I think, with that foot injury still. Now, he did pick that up, ankle or foot injury, I think it was. It was meant to be looking like an ankle injury, but reported as being not as bad, so possibly 2 to 4 weeks at worst. I'm not too sure on if there's been any update or anything as such on it just yet, but they had the bye last week, and then this would be week 2, so hopefully they're only without him for this round. But yeah, I mean, Crichton's the only other one they're losing there. Man out as well, but Crichton's the only one they're losing there in the centres. A little bit of leadership in that. He's off to origin duty, but yeah, I think they'll probably be fine. It's going to be a solid matchup anyway. Kickow, as Mitchy mentioned, Kickow there, back in the reserves, looking like he may very well, possibly, slot in later in the week. Who knows? Salmon and Curran. Curran we've seen as a interchange player, so wouldn't surprise me if he potentially goes back onto the bench for Kickow, or Kickow starts on the bench just coming back from that injury. So we'll see what happens there. But
I actually
personally, I
really
think,
do like that idea, to be honest.
yeah, exactly. I think I'm probably still going to go Roosters on this one. Yeah, again, I think it's going to be close. I don't think Bulldogs are here to play, man. Their form's been really good this year so far. I think they're starting to find their identity in how they play football, which is handy for them.
I
But I'm
mean,
going
see,
to go
the thing for
Roosters.
me is
Mm.
Like you look at the two teams on paper here,
Yep.
and it's so hard to not back Roosters. Like you just,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
mean I
Even.
know the last time that I did that as well, I got absolutely burnt. But jeez, it's like they've pretty much got a full side in, man. Like it's just seeing them in an origin period with Teddy as well as like Sam Walker, Kiri, Dom Young, Manu.
Mhm.
Like it's just they've got a full
And
back line. They've got pretty much an almost full front line. Like it's just
like I was saying
man.
before too, I mean, the people that are filling in for them they're almost safe as houses. Like they're people that have played first grade, either played first grade a lot or have played first grade this year or last year and just brained it, done really well.
Yeah.
So they're yeah, they're not really at a loss, which is good. But yeah, I reckon Roosters. I'm going to go for that one.
As much as I would love to tip the doggies here, I think it's a Roosters for me too, mate.
Yeah. Next game being Rabbits versus Sea Eagles. We'll have a quick run through the team. Latrell getting his call back to Origin. The man is
Mm.
back, the saviour of New South Wales, or so he thinks. Heading back into the Origin arena. So we've got Jai Gray coming back into the side, back from his ankle injury, I think it was, to fill in for him. Alex Johnston, Tane Milne, Richard Kenner, Jacob Gagai, Jack Whiten, Cody Walker. Davy Moali, Damien Cook, Sean Kepi, Michael Cheekham, Jai Arrow, Kayon Koloamatangi, Peter Menwazelis, Tallis Duncan, Thomas Burgess, and Liam LeBlanc. With Manly having Lehigh Hopewadi, Jason Saab, Tola Kola, Aaron Shop, making that change from the Titans to Manly, getting a run in centre here. Tommy Talau, Luke Brooks, Carl Lawton lining up at halfback there in place of DCE, which is interesting. Ethan Bullymore, Jake Simpkin being the other mid-season change coming from the Tigers, filling in at hooker. So I think they'll be all right there. Fafoa Sipley, Corey Waddell, Ben Travojevic, Nathan Brown, Gordon Chen, Kum Tong, Ben Condon, Caleb Navale, and Atasi James. Ben Condon getting another run after a while. Haven't seen a whole lot of him in first grade Manly colours since he's gone there, but
Mm.
few. I mean, looking at these ins and outs, man, a lot of ins for Manly, a lot of outs as well due to injury in Origin. DCE off to Origin. Hamole injured, I think, possibly, is he? Oh, Origin, sorry.
Hamole is an Origin.
Origin, sorry.
Turbo is obviously injured. Jake
Yeah,
is Origin. Um,
Garrick.
Garrick's
Garrick's.
injured. I think he picked up an injury.
I think
I
he
can't
got
even
two
remember.
HIAs, man,
Yeah,
because I
double
had him
there.
in my fantasy, and
Mm.
he only got 4 points. He'd gone off for HIA, come back later in the game, then gone off for an even worse HIA by the sounds of it. Yeah, very, very
Unlucky.
interesting.
Mm.
Um, yeah, Cam
Jeez,
Murray.
there's some mouthfuls in that team. I'll tell you what. Good old
Oh
Chen
yeah,
Kum Tong,
yep,
Tuamalo
yep,
Vega. Like, yeah,
yep.
goodness me. Um,
Rabbits
okay,
only losing
so
Murray and Latrell, right, for Origin.
yeah, and I mean, the big thing here for me is, and I mean, um, I don't think losing Trell is that impactful. I really don't. That's not a knock on Trell. I think that the Rabbits actually do have a pretty good backline, like a pretty good amount of people that can fill in that role at fullback, which is kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah.
At least to the same degree, anyway. Like, I'm still firmly going to back and say that Trell should be a center. He
Hmm.
really should be playing a center in that team. But and I think there's probably a lot of people who would actually agree with me too. But either way, I'm not a coach, so um, I think really the only thing that actually genuinely hurts here is probably the loss of Murray. I mean, losing Troll with the outside pass, yeah, that's probably the one part does suck for attack. But losing Murray is the real big loss here. But I still don't think it's going to outweigh the fact that Manly is losing Cherry Evans, Ola Kawatu, Turbo, Gerbo, Garrick, Paseka. Like, the list is ridiculous. It is
Yeah.
ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
um,
There's
and
some
yet
people
they
getting
do
thrown
have,
into.
they've got their
Yeah.
Hopewadi, they've got Cooler, they've got, they still got Tommy T. I just don't think it's going to stack up. Quite
Yeah.
frankly, I think it's just going to be an easy run for the Bunnies, which Lord knows they bloody need.
Yeah, exactly right. And we've seen them build, and after that win against the
Mm.
Broncos last week, they're going to want to maintain that little bit of momentum they got going on. So, I think I'll be tipping rabbits on this one for sure.
I've got bunnies for sure here.
Very,
Absolutely.
very good. The last game of the round, the bye round, being Tigers versus Raiders. We'll have a quick look at that. Couple ins for the Tigers here. So Jareem Buller back at fullback, Solomon Fatape, Brent Naden, Justin Olam, Charlie Staines, Lachlan Galvin making his comeback. I think he had a week off or 2 weeks off, possibly with that hand injury.
Mm.
In the headlines and whatnot, obviously wanting a bit of a release or something, but sounding to me like it was a bit more blown up than anything, or a bit of
I think it was just
bit of
post-game frustration, man. That's more than anything from Galvin.
yeah, maybe a bit of media hype or something like that, just to
Yeah.
make a story, because it was quelled quite fast, I think. Anyway, Aiden Caesar making his return at halfback there. Or sorry, no, last week was his return, I should
Yeah.
say.
And he did very well too. Mm.
Lockie Galvin and Aiden Caesar pairing return, I should say. So they're probably back to where they should be with their halves and whatnot. So Stefano Utikamanu, Api Coruscant back at hooker, Fanua Pole, Ruben Porter, Samuela Fainu, Justin Matamua, Talon De Silva, Sione Fainu, Alex Seyfarth, and Kit Luali'i with
Now,
the
before you
rear.
do jump into Raiders here as well,
Mhm.
this is actually the return of Dewey.
Yeah, he
Whether
has
he
been
actually gets
included.
played or not
Yep,
is another thing, obviously.
yep,
But it sounds like he is getting fit again.
yep.
He's getting fit again, and he has been named as a reserve. Will they play him last second? To be seen. Looking forward to it though if he does play.
Yeah, whether it's something where he's just sort of with the squad training and that, and he's been named for that potential or whatnot, whether we do see him come back now or in the coming weeks, but it does seem like the return is looming. So if I were to hazard a guess, I would think one of those centers is probably going to centers, or I don't know whether they're going to play him on the wing, but I would think one of them centers is probably going to take a seat at some
I
point.
think it's
Don't.
a I think it's a center that takes a seat. Olam moves in, and maybe Dewey on the wing, maybe
Yeah, possibly. I mean,
just to get him in there anyway.
yeah, if anything, if you're going to drop anyone, I think it'd be
Naden.
Naden. Naden's
Yeah.
probably going to be giving up his center jersey
Yeah.
for him. But yeah, whether we do see him return,
Even
that'll
Naden
be
or Fatape, maybe. Yeah.
be an interesting one. It is the last game on the Sunday anyway, so we've got all weekend, or they have all weekend to mull it over, I guess. Raiders team: Jordan Rapana, Nick Kotrick, Matthew Tomoko, Seb Chris, Savvy Savage, Ethan Strange, and Ko Weeks, Josh Papali'i, Danny Levi, Joseph Tarpane, Hudson Young, Elliot Whitehead, Morgan Smithies, Zach Wolford, Tar Mariota, Trey Mooney, and Emre Gula. Um, yeah, no real massive losses. Tom Starling out. I'm assuming he picked up an injury, did he, Starling?
Yeah. Actually, I'm trying to think what it was. It was actually pretty. It was actually a pretty nasty one as far as I remember.
Oh, geez,
Um,
right.
let me see if I can find it. Probably might not be easy to find, but either way, he is definitely injured. He did pick up an injury in that Cows game.
Yep.
So it's going to be a little bit until we see him back, I think.
I mean, having Wolford's just slotting in and doing the exact same thing he does anyway. Starling comes on once Levi comes off for a bit of a break, that 1-2 punch. So Wolford,
Yeah.
having done that before Levi was their sort of thing, or before Levi was getting played, rather, that's exactly what they were doing. So they're not too bad off there.
That's right. It was a really nasty head knock. It was a nasty head knock that he failed. Yeah.
Okay, so he's off sitting down for that
Yeah, 2
mandatory 11
weeks.
days. Yep,
Mhm.
yep, stand down. Look, it's a tough one, but possibly going to tip Tigers here. This is going to be my left field for the week, my roughie, and I'm probably going to regret it. But I think last week, I know Raiders it's going to be tough. Raiders are going to be wanting to win, and Ricky's really going to be grilling it into them this week.
Surely
But
Rapiner and Savage don't have the same game that they had this week. I just
yeah,
feel like they can't.
yeah, exactly right.
I think I think they'll fall into the bloody Rick Noble.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God.
I'm just thinking, like I said, I think it's going to be a roughie. I'm thinking having that Galvin Caesar combo back as well. It's going to shore that those
Their
halves
their
positions
attack's
up.
going to be it's going to be rather nice, I think, actually. Now that
Exactly
Caesar's
right.
and
And
Galvin with him.
letting Appy go back to hooker to sort of to play from there as well is going to be quite solid. So I'm thinking Tigers on this one, but yeah, probably only a small margin again, maybe 6, possibly 8 points, depending. What
Yeah,
about you?
it's an interesting one. I mean, like I said, hmm. I just don't see the Raiders having that same error-filled game as they had this
Yeah,
week.
yeah,
But
Ricky's going to be
that said, they are going to Leichhardt, and that's a tough one.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
You know what? I'm gonna join you. I'm going with you. I'm thinking it's
Shit.
Tigers. I think it's
Yeah.
Tigers by 6.
Tigers, yep,
Tigers by a
another
try. Literally a try.
re- relatively relatively close margin on that one anyway.
Oh yeah.
We'll jump in and have a look at the Origin team lists now too, because there are a few changes to go through. So we'll have a
A
bit of
few.
a yarn about that. Yeah, yeah. So New South Wales. Obviously we're playing in Melbourne. I'll be at that game, which will be good. But playing in Melbourne for this one, the neutral ground for game 2. Inns, Cam Murray, Connor Watson, Dylan Edwards, Latrell Mitchell, Luke Keary, Mitchell Moses, and Mitchell Barnett. For the Blues, with Hudson Young, James Tedesco, Joseph Suoli'i, Matt Burton, and Nico Himes not getting the call back up, unfortunately. Maroons having Dane Gagai, Hillam Lukey, which is quite good as well, getting him in around the side. Kurt Capewell, Trent Loiero, with Hopgood and Cobbo both dropped. Now, Queensland, I know anyway. Hopgood, he's got that back. I think he's got a nerve injury or something, because I don't think he
Yeah,
played on the weekend. So it's
that's
something they've got
correct.
to
Yeah,
manage there.
he picked it up
With
in Origin.
Yeah, Cobbo as well. Cobbo's also nursing a bit of an injury. I think Billy was quoted as saying his form just hasn't been the greatest as of late, but he does also have some sort of injuries managing at the moment. So, whether it's a bit of a byproduct of it or not, the form coming from the injury or whatever he's managing. But yeah, very useful in game 1, but unfortunately just not getting the call back up for game 2. So in position, as they're named, we've got Dylan Edwards finally getting to make his debut at fullback, Brian Toto, Stephen Crichton, Latrell Mitchell returning, Zach Lomax, Jerome Luai, Mitchell Moses coming back into that halfback position to see if he can save the day. Jake Travojevic at captain again, Reece Robson as captain again, I should say, sorry, at prop. Reece Robson, Payne Haas, Martin Angus Crichton, and Cam Murray at lock. At the interchange, Connor Watson making his debut, which will be very handy. It's a very handy pickup. I think Madge has really thought that one out, which is quite handy there. Whether it
I
even
agree. I think he's
does,
done his research a bit here.
whether it is a bit like the Queensland Harry Grant, Ben Hunt sort of scenario, I don't know. But Watson can go and slot into the middle. He can do whatever. He can slot in at lock if need be. Give Murray a bit of a break. I think he's going to be quite dangerous. With Isaiah Yeo, Hamole Olakawatu, and Spencer Leniu rounding out the interchange. Reserves again, Mitchell Barnett, Cameron McInnes, and Luke Keary again sitting there just in case something does go wrong.
Now, I mean, I just on Blues alone,
mm,
I'll actually come out and say that I actually like this team more than I liked Game 1 for sure.
yeah,
The
I
Game
think it
1
is a
team.
better, well-rounded team, definitely.
100%, 100%. I think the only thing that I'd maybe change is try and get McInnes in there. I don't really know if Gerbo is what the New South Wales team actually needs right now. But the
Yeah,
fact that he's
yeah.
captain, obviously he will get the call up. So, but who
Hopefully he's
knows?
getting
Maybe
better
we see how
minutes.
this game goes. Maybe this game goes incredibly well, and then that captaincy gets given to someone else. Maybe Edwards. Maybe Critter.
Yep,
Geez,
yep.
there's plenty of options. But I think looking at this lineup here,
Mm,
man, I think Krell and Lomax together is a pretty cool combo. That's
yeah, gonna
that's
be
gonna be
tough.
hot. That's going to
You
be
know,
hard. So,
it's lining up against Coates and Holmes.
mm,
Latrell's a big body, and Holmes has at times been bumped off quite tough in tackles. So hopefully his defense carries over from last week. But yeah, it isn't going to be easy by any means.
I mean, the Moses choice is an obvious instant improvement in my opinion.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't think Hines is built for big games. It is what it is. I think he needs more time to get big
Yeah,
games. There
at the
was once
moment
upon a
anyway.
time where we said the same thing about Moses. So
Yeah, yeah,
um,
exactly right.
he just needs time, I think.
Yeah, exactly right. And I do agree with you. I think they are fielding a much scarier side, at
Mm.
the least anyway. New South Wales for game two. Queensland, we've got Reece Walsh having a second attempt at fullback there. Uh, Xavier
A
Coates, Val
second
Holmes,
attempt.
Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow back at centre. Hopefully he gets to see the game out in that position with Murray Talangi on the wing. Tommy Dearden and DCE in the halves. So everyone pretty well playing where they were named for game one anyway. With Cotter, Hunt, Collins, Jaden Sewer making his return, well deserved as well. I think Jeremiah Nanai, Patrick Carrigan, Harry Grant, Moe Fodawaker, Felice Kafusi, and Kurt Capewell making a return. With the reserves return, I should say, back to the Origin arena. Reserves Dan Gagai, Harlem Lukey, and Trent Liero. Whether we see anything, I mean, I don't really see Lukey edging his way into that side there on the bench, but
Not
maybe
unless there's an injury, I
possibly,
think.
yeah, maybe possibly Gagai, if anything. Capewell, we've seen he is quite reliable and handy, but it is a little bit of a head scratcher, I think.
I think when you've still got the likes of David Fafita around and stuff like that too, I think it's an interesting choice. But that said,
Yeah,
I know that this has been met with a lot of criticism.
yeah,
I think just given his experience, and we'll talk strictly Origin experience, not backyard bathroom experiences. We will we'll say that look, I'm again I'm perplexed by it, but at the same time I'm not unhappy with it. I think if there's someone um who is definitely wears the Queensland jersey and plays hard as fuck with that jersey on.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's Cape. I think Cape was one of them. Very glad to see Jaden Sewer get picked back up and continue this. I think he had an amazing game, and I think he's going to be a star in the Origin arena in the future.
Mm-hmm.
The Kafusi choice was a little bit interesting as well, I guess. As in moving him into the side there. I still think there's room to move there as well.
Yeah, yep, yep.
And he's an Origin arena beast. I'm not going to
Did
refute
well,
that. Yeah,
did
he did
well in
well to
game
come
one,
on and
coming
did
in
that
out of
too.
necessity. Yeah.
hmm I think I just think there might be other options, And I mean, Lukey is a great start. Just getting him in and training around that, I think it might be a little early, but
Hmm.
um, it is nice to see Billy is also experimenting a little bit here. As you see, they've taken off the obviously with Hopgood injured.
Yeah, yeah,
They've gone with another bigger body
yep,
in the interchange now as opposed to the hooker. So
yep,
um,
yep.
an interesting one from the Bush Poet, but and it's still, like I said, a little bit head scratchy, but at the same time, I'm not unhappy with it. I still think this side is pretty strong, like really, really strong.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I definitely agree. I think, yeah, like you said, Kafusi definitely, obviously, towards the end of his Origin career, or if not rep career, but Origin career anyway. Definitely worse choices with him and Capewell. Worse choices that could have been put there, but yeah, I mean, even having Gagai there at 18th man, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them potentially drops out or something, and Gagai slips in as that, like Cobbo did, as that reserve. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
entirely
utility role.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
If I'm going to look at it, I'd probably say it's probably going to be Capewell that does slip out, but
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yep, yep. I think overall, I do like the side. I mean, it's not it's largely or mostly unchanged anyway for the most part.
Can I also
Um,
say, I would be terrified to be a New South Welshman, and have to come up against Kafusi's haircut, bro.
Oh man, the Scarlet, something
Mr.
unreal.
Burns, baby.
What he lacks in forward moving power, like he used to, he's gained in aerodynamics anyway. Um,
Real and true.
I
Real and true.
I think obviously being Queenslander, I'm going to tip Queensland, but I think the margin is going to be far closer in this one. The only reason, and being honest, the only reason it was so wide in the end there was because New South Wales played like 90% of that game with with a man down sort of thing. So would have been a lot closer, if not even possible, different result in game one. But
Mm.
I think we're going to see this one being a bit more of that closer,
I think this one will be tight as hell, man. Especially
low
with that
scoring.
back line. That back line
Yeah,
is very dangerous.
yeah. Whether it be low scoring or whatever, or just very close scoreline, man. I think this one's going to be one I'm tipping to be probably within the 4 to 6 point margin. And I think I'll go Queensland for sure, but I think it'll be Queensland by 6 for me.
I think it's going to be Queensland by 2.
Even closer, you reckon? Yep.
I think this is.
'Cause-
I like Dead said. I'm thinking this is going down to the wire.
Yeah,
This is going to be a tough one. Is it going to be a penalty? Probably not. Could it be a 2-point field goal? Absolutely. There's plenty of options to kick it. So
yeah. Possibly
DCE can
kicking's
kick it.
yeah.
DCE can kick it. Walsh can kick it. Holmes can
Holmes
kick it. Like there's.
kicking's going to be part because I mean New South Wales have that as well. Low max
Mm,
conversions anyway. Moses for conversions and normal kicks. Latrell, uh, options are endless, really. So
I think the one thing that I'm very glad about going against this team is that they haven't got Burton. Um,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think Burton is a big dark horse in a team like this, like an all-star team like this, because he
yeah.
just flies under the radar and he just puts your team in the worst possible position every single set. So
Make himself useful as hell.
yeah, I think we're very lucky to not have to verse Burton in this side.
Yeah,
And I think that was probably the only real thing that I looked at and said, this is the only thing that Madge could actually do better. I think he nailed everything else. So,
yeah,
um,
yep,
like I said, I'm still going Queensland. I'm going it by 2 points. It wouldn't
yep.
shock me to see a 4-point or a 6-point, but I'm thinking it's going to be close. I think it's going to be down to the wire, and I think it's probably going to be the kicking difference.
Much scarier of a game and much better of a game anyway. I think highly
Very
likely.
tense. Very
Yeah,
tense.
yeah, definitely. I think that's probably about covers it for now anyway, man. Was there anything else in the rugby league world you wanted to bring up? Did you have a try of the week from last week or anything?
You know what? I absolutely did. I think there was probably 3 or 4 tries this week where
Yeah,
it was sort of like everyone's jaw just dropped. Like it was
yeah,
epic. Um,
yeah,
but I'm gonna give it to Felty. Um, I if it wasn't great enough that he kicked off literally the game just by picking the most obscure try of all time, seeing a double like a team that knocked the ball on not once but twice, so 2 sets of different hands, and then he
yeah,
still picks that and gets the try off it. Man, that was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That was so funny. But that's not the real try we're talking about. We're talking about the follow up literally 10 minutes later, where we get a
yep,
Drinky Harbour Bridge right into the fingertips, and he plants
yep,
it with literally only his wrist and hand that's on the ball in the field with a probably a geez, it'd have to be like a fingernail between like a blade of grass between that and the dead ball line. Oh, dead ball line rather the sideline. I
yeah. The
think it was
touchline there
it
there
really
wasn't much
just
in it.
it was really minimal, and I think it really just hits home as just how great the wingers are in our game these days.
And Felty in particular, we know he's a try scoring machine. We know he can score tries. He's done it that many times and crazy ones at that. But still doing it, to this
Still
day.
doing it.
So yeah, exactly right. Very good. I think that'll probably wrap it up. We might leave it there because I can smell the takoyaki from the apartment here. I might need to get down into the street and embrace it for our last night here before we head off to Tokyo. But if that's it for you, we'll wrap it up there for the week and come back to you next week with a bit of a review, or 2 weeks time rather, because then we'll be talking about State of origin results and whatnot, as well as the last 2 weekends results.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's probably it for me.
And I think that's
And
probably it for me.
very good, very good. So enjoy your football, and happy state of origin. Signing off,
Go Queenslander.
Queenslander.